Welcome to J is for Justice podcast. If live breaking news and following true crime is your thing, then please consider subscribing to my channel. And if you like what you see in my videos, please consider giving them a thumbs up. Hello. Welcome back to J is for Justice. My name is Jay, and I am your host today. I'm a poet, and I didn't even know it. I hope you guys are having a great Thursday. We're doing Friday Live on Thursday because I have plans this weekend. So I'm not going to be going live tomorrow or Saturday, probably until Saturday night. So you've got me here on Thursday. Thank you for coming in, though. And thank you for, dealing with the time change and everything else going on. We have quite a few docs. So since I opened this up this morning, we have a couple more documents. So I'm wearing my proud shirt. I have to boast a minute this morning or this afternoon. My daughter has started at USF, the University of South Florida, and she got me this shirt. It says, you can't see it, can you? I'm a proud mama today. It says USF mom. Isn't that cute? She got me a mug too. I'm very proud of her. She's going for her bachelor's degree. So if you guys could send some good vibes Rachel's way. She's a very, very smart girl. She's got a good head on her shoulders. And she's working on her bachelor's and then on to the master's in mental health. So yeah, I'm really proud of her. But since I opened this doc up today, there's more orders that are filed. So let's get right into it, shall we? Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. Hey, beautiful Diana, Angie B. I forgot to let Granny know. I will let her know. Hopefully she comes in today. If not, I will text her about that accidental blockage, if you will. All right. So these are all of the new documents we have since the 21st. So I looked at these, so these don't say new, but we got quite a few. Thank you, everybody. You sent me something on Messenger. Okay. Thank you for letting me know. And thank you for all the good vibes, guys. Thank you. All right, so let's get into it. Some of these may be meaningful. Some of them may not be, but we shall find out. We'll take a glance through all of them and see what's going on. So this is the first one, and welcome in. If I haven't said hi to you, hello. Nice to see all of you. Let's get right into it, though. This is from the 22nd of May. Amended notice of compliance. It says, this is the state. Comes now, the state of Idaho is providing an amended notice that the state has lodged a log spreadsheet, in parentheses, identifying which defense exhibits the state is objecting to and the basis of objection, and those to which there are no objections, all pursuant to the court's October 8th, 2024 unredacted sealed order governing further criminal proceedings and notice of trial setting. The parties met on May 8th, 2025 to determine objections to exhibits. The state inquired regarding the relevance of several defense exhibits and was unable to obtain a response from defense counsel. That's not good. That is not good. So basically, the state asked about some of their exhibits and didn't get an answer. Consequently, the state has noted relevance objections to those exhibits. Relevant, I think, is what they meant. In addition, the state is unclear which exhibits will be relied upon at the guilt phase versus the penalty phase. The state has noted objections to the exhibits being offered in the guilt phase. The state reserves the right to object to any of the listed exhibits if the exhibits are offered for another purpose than what was previously discussed with counsel on May 8th. Signed, Ashley Jennings. Welcome in, everybody. We're going over all these new docs. All right, here's the second one. Motion to seal. Bryan Kohberger is sealing Exhibit F. Whatever Exhibit F is. All right. We'll breeze through some of these. Order sealing, notice of filing, defendant's objection to juror questionnaire. Okay. We already knew about that down here because he had a motion objecting to the juror questionnaire down here. All right. State's notice of compliance comes now. The state of Idaho hereby provides notice that response to the court's document and records hold order dated May 15th. This is about the Dateline leaks. The state has lodged with the court for in-camera review an ex parte letter with attached exhibits. The state has provided the court with documentation of distribution and receipt of the court's order to involved agencies as ordered. So that is the state replying about the Dateline leaks and what the judge had ordered for them. A list of people who I guess had, access to this evidence that was leaked. Good morning, everybody coming in. Miss Heavenly, it's good to see you and alive. Good to see you. So that's that one. Defendant's notice of compliance. Bryan Kohberger, by and through his attorneys of record, provide notice that the defense has submitted a letter with attachments for in-camera review to the court in compliance with the document and holds order. So they have both filed their thing about the leaks. Okay, here's the longer one. This is a motion to permit mitigation witnesses to watch trial. Comes out, Bryan Kohberger, by and through his attorneys of record, hereby moves this honorable court to amend its exclusion orders in this case to permit mitigation phase witnesses to watch the trial. This motion is based on the fact that the evidentiary rules do not apply to the mitigation phase as this court has previously ruled. Additionally, the purpose of the exclusion of witnesses rule does not apply in the mitigation phase. Rule 615 of the Idaho Rules of Evidence governs exclusion of witnesses. It reads, quote, at a party's request, the court may order witnesses excluded so they cannot hear other witnesses' testimony, or the court may do so on its own. The purpose is to allow the courts to prevent witnesses from, quote, shaping their testimony to conform to or rebut the prior testimony of other witnesses. The vital importance of sequestering witnesses is recognized as a foundational element of due process and American jurisprudence. The United States Supreme Court observed that this practice, which goes back to our inheritance of the common Germanic law, serves two purposes. It exercises a restraint on witnesses tailoring their testimony to that of earlier witnesses, and it aids in detecting testimony that is less than candid. In the mitigation phase, the witnesses are not true fact witnesses as in the guilt phase. They are not intended to provide accounts of events that are disputed, and thus the concern for tailing their testimony does not exist. While it is unclear that the mitigation witnesses will want to watch any part of the trial, there is no reason to penalize them if they do. This court is therefore requested to amend its earlier exclusion-related orders to permit them to watch trial. So basically, they want all the witnesses to be able to sit there. That really seems weird to me. I don't think the judge is going to allow that. Because usually the witnesses are called in one by one. They're not sitting there listening. Okay, so mitigation witnesses are individuals that gather and present information about the defendant's background, life experiences, and any circumstances that could explain their actions. And they're used in the sentencing phase. So I don't know. Maybe they will be allowed to sit in there. They're there to humanize the defendant. Angie B, thank you so much. And welcome, Vivian. Thank you, Angie, for donating a membership. I appreciate that. Thank you for your support. But doesn't that seem weird? I mean, I don't know if these kind of people usually sit through there. It sounds like they don't. So they want the mitigation person who's collecting all this info on Kohberger to be able to hear all the testimony? Hey, Global. Sounds like BK is wanting all the exposure he can get. Yeah, I don't understand that. Mitigation phase witnesses. I wonder how many there are. I don't know. I would love to hear a lawyer's take on that one. Let's go to the next one, because you guys know I am not a lawyer. I know that's surprising. The mitigating is in the sentencing phase, but why do they want those witnesses to sit through the whole trial? Shouldn't they just do their research and show up when they're needed? If it's typical that they don't watch the trial, you know what I mean? Okay, so the next one would be state's supplemental notice of compliance. This one, the state of Idaho hereby provides notice that in further response to the court's documents hold order, which was all about the leaks, the state has lodged with the court for in-camera review a supplemental ex parte letter dated the 23rd of May. So they're still adding to the leak. Motion to seal defendant's evidence in support of offer of proof, alternate perpetrators and exhibitees. So remember in the last hearing, the judge was like, you've got to give me more than, names. Like, you have to have evidence to say there's an alternative perpetrator. So what I'm wondering is, who is he trying to frame this on, number one? Who do you think he's putting in there as alternate perpetrators? If you had to guess. I mean, and what evidence could he possibly have that they're alternate perpetrators? What's up, Sleuth? Is the leak only for Dateline, or could this go back further? I don't think so. No, I think that was just addressing the Dateline episode. But who could be alternate perpetrators, and what evidence could he submit to back that up? If he says Brent Kopaka, like someone just said, why are they trying to motion to seal it? Right. And if someone else did it, why are you wanting to seal it? Scream it from the rooftops. I didn't do it. He did. Or he did. And I have proof to show that he did or he did. We know it's bullshit. We know it's bullshit. But let's say he names Sophia. We just had a baby, 9 months. Thank you, Sophia. So let's say Brent K. What's the evidence? Scratch on, scratch off the scratcher. Thank you, Nicole. She gave names and, well, there's Granny. Granny's watching. Angie, there you go. Angie B got accidentally deleted on your channel. If you could unblock Angie B. Thank you for your super chat, Nicole G. But like, okay, let's say he says it's Bryan Kohberger. What's the evidence? I mean, the dude's dead. Let's say he tries to pin it on Jack D. Where's the evidence? What could they possibly be filing? It's crazy. So it says that they're sealing the defendant's evidence in support of offer of proof, RE, alternate perpetrators, and its supporting exhibits. Sophia, welcome. EB, Kari, Heavenly, CJK, and Mari W. Welcome to the channel. Thank you for becoming friends of the channel. I like that. Friends of J for J. Thank you so much. Even if you are a little lady in Miami. The roommates. That's one I didn't think of. Hey, Santos. But what evidence? Because it says here he put supporting exhibits. I am dying to know. And they still have Jay Logsdon on here. I thought Jay Logsdon was gone. Why is it only his DNA on the sheath? Oh, by the way, the Gonsalveses got their Facebook group back from the Kohbergers. If you didn't know, the Kohbergers reported their Gonsalves family Facebook, but they got it back. You think they're feeding the That's crazy. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Motion to seal defendant's objection. What's he objecting to? Bryan Kohberger moves the court for an order to seal the objection to the court's request for the defense to submit a redacted copy of the ex parte filing to the state. Moves the court for an order to seal the objection to the court's request for the defense to submit a redacted copy of the ex parte. They don't want to submit a redacted copy. I don't really know. Order sealing. This is the next one. This is now, we're on 5/27. So this is this week. Order sealing defense's evidence. Here it is. More about this offer of proof. Order sealing defense evidence in support of offer of proof, alternate perpetrators, and exhibitees. The court having before it the motion to seal defense's evidence in support of offer of proof. The judge sealed it. The judge sealed that shit. You know he probably has to because he's naming innocent people. Oh, Emma Bailey and that guy, Dimitri. Remember that whole deep dive? Ooh, that was wild. I wonder how Emma's doing now. No, that doesn't make you a pro-burger, Vivian. Not at all. The pro-burgers are the ones out there putting out misinformation, right? On purpose. Not the ones keeping an open mind. They were at the pool party. Yeah, I believe that. There is a lot of motions, but a lot of these are just to seal things, okay? So let's not get excited. Okay, so now here is order sealing defendant's objection. We read that one. 5/27, stipulation to excuse penalty phase witnesses. So this is the state responding to having these penalty phase witnesses in the courtroom the whole time. It says, comes now, the state of Idaho hereby stipulate to the court excusing witnesses who will only be testifying during the penalty phase. Hereby stipulate to the court excusing witnesses who will only be testifying during the penalty phase of the trial, herein from exclusion during the guilt phase. This applies only to contemplated penalty phase witnesses who are not also testifying during the guilt phase. So we have Ann Taylor and Bill signing this stipulation to excuse penalty phase witnesses from exclusion during the guilt phase. I don't really understand that one. Are they going to let them in or are they not? What do you guys think? I don't really understand that one. So are they agreeing? Like, are William Thompson and Ann Taylor agreeing? Heavenly, that was really scary, that answer from 8Ball. What do you guys think? It means they can be, bitch Franklin, it means they can watch. And they agreed on it. 21 months. Can't get it out of my head. BK, Bethany has. Oh. Exculpatory evidence. I think it's an agreement to dismiss witnesses that are no longer needed before the penalty phase. I think they mean if you're going to be a witness during the trial, they can watch. Yeah, his family can be there the whole time as well. Mm-hmm. All right, let's go on to the next one. Like I said, I don't know what's in these. This is my first time going through them is with you guys. Motion to seal exhibits. This is the state. Motion to seal exhibits attached to state's supplemental rebuttal disclosure. Penalty phase expert Dr. Jason D. Gage. I've never heard of Jason. Comes now the state of Idaho. Hereby moves the court pursuant to Idaho Court Administrative Rule, blah, 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 for an order sealing exhibits S1 and S2. State's supplemental rebuttal disclosure, penalty phase expert Dr. Jason D. Gage. On May 27th, 2025. Exhibit S1, ooh, this is interesting, is a neuropsychology eval completed by Dr. Gage. I can just see it now. When this is all said and done, Dr. Gage is going to be on all these shows because he did a neuropsychology eval on Bryan Kohberger. Right, he could be naming Bethany as an alternative. No, I got what you're saying. Exhibit S1 contains private medical information, which is exempted from public disclosure pursuant to IC blah, blah, blah. Exhibit S2 is a curriculum vitae, which is exempted from public disclosure. And they've been sealed. This is Ashley Jennings. I want to see what this is. I would love to see the report on that. A curriculum vitae is a comprehensive document detailing an individual's professional qualifications, education, and experience. So, let's look him up. I'm curious who he is. Dr. Gage. He has his PhD in psychology from Utah State University. Oh, Lord. Oh, that's Calhoun. Let's see. That's Johnston. Here's Jason Gage. You guys want to hear about Jason Gage? This is who gave Kohberger a neuropsychological exam. Let's see. Dr. Gage completed his PhD in psychology at Utah State. He then served as an officer and psychologist in the U.S. Army. During internship at Fort Lee, Virginia, as the chief of mental health services. Dr. Gage began working as a neuropsychologist at St. Alphonsus Rehab, STARS, and in private practice at Mountain States Counseling and Psychological Services. Dr. Gage currently specializes in general neuropsychology, because isn't he claiming a brain injury, Kohberger? To include brain injuries, dementia, sports concussions, and ADHD learning disorders in children and adults. Dr. Gage also conducts adult evaluations for individuals suspecting a possible autism spectrum disorder. Dr. Gage has a specific interest in aviation psychology and provides neuropsychological evaluations for pilots and prospective pilots needing an evaluation for the FAA. Interesting. The FAA has designated Dr. Gage as a qualified provider for these services, to include HIMSS, alcohol-related evaluations. With his military background, Dr. Gage has specialized in treating PTSD and other anxiety disorders. He's got a ton of experience. So that's Dr. Gage. Right here, look at FAA neuropsychology. He's even in this. So he's affiliated with the U.S. government. Okay, so anyways, that's Dr. Gage's report. Pilot psychology is, I guess it's got to be. I mean, you got to be okay up here to fly a plane. Okay, motion to seal exhibits. Now we have filed yesterday. It could be the autism thing too, yeah. But also, wasn't there a brain injury mentioned? Or was that Stearns? I might be actually getting the two cases confused. Diana. Jay, I don't want to get off topic, but had he not left that sheath behind, do you think they would have caught him? I don't know. You know, it's funny that you asked that, because didn't they say that they didn't really need the evidence, you mean get his name? Shit, I don't know. I mean, what came first? The DNA or like a plate? Stearns was the brain injury. Okay, my apologies. I know Stearns they couldn't find his records or something. They were so old they couldn't find his records. Okay, so here we go. This is an order as part of the administrative. This is from the judge. As part of the administrative process of this trial before voir dire. I'm getting the hang of this. Voir dire begins, which is jury selection. Voir dire.
You're what the French call les incompétents.
Questionnaires will be distributed to and completed by jurors at the Ada County Courthouse. In order to maximize courtroom space and efficiency of this process, and because the distribution of questionnaires is an administrative function, observation of this process is limited to counsel and defendant. So as part of the administrative process, questionnaires will be distributed to and completed by jurors at the courthouse. Observation of this process is limited to counsel and defendant. So he gets to sit there and stare. Voir dire. All right, and then this is our final order. I thought that there was a longer one. Hold on. Did I get that one? Yeah. Okay. This is our final order here. This is quick. This is a quick one today. This is an order sealing exhibits attached to state's supplemental rebuttal disclosure. That's a freaking mouthful. Based on the state's motion to seal, what I just read, and this is about the penalty phase expert again, Dr. Jason D. Gage, filed herein and no objection from the defense, the court does hereby confirm that order that exhibits S1 and S2 are exempt from disclosure and sealed, as stated in the motion. And that is from Stephen Hippler. Thank you for subscribing, Nicole Bacon. Faraday thinks that they should have Dr. Gary examine BK. I don't think he's an expert in courts. I think he's just a news commentary person. I might be wrong, but I'm not quite sure that Dr. Gary Broussard is a court expert, but I'll look it up. Expert. I think he's not. He's a clinical psychologist, researcher, and author. He's not an expert. I don't think he's ever testified in court, but I might be wrong. But I don't think he has. No, I don't think he has. The sister called the tip line. How do you know, Kathy? Or are you just speculating? I don't believe the autism diagnosis either. Vivian, I don't believe that. And you can't compare Bryan Kohberger to Sebastian Rogers. I mean, come on. So does that tell us that the prosecution probably doesn't have any objections to the expert, the defense? Right. That's what I'm saying. That's what I read it as. I don't think you could compare Bryan Kohberger to Sebastian Rogers. I mean, this guy went through school studying how to get away with murder, basically. Dr. Gary got himself into the Lisk case and pissed off a lot of people. Yeah, I don't think he's a court expert or whatever you call it. I mean, he's definitely a psychologist and everything, but I don't think he testifies as an expert in court. I've never seen his website, to be honest with you. Look at his signature. Nah. He ain't no court expert. You like some of his opinions? Yeah, I agreed with him on his assessment of Bryan Kohberger when he was like, we totally I was picking up what he was laying down, and he just is very, he's very cocky and conceited, and that I think that's his downfall. He's very smart. Would love to pick his brain and discuss cases with him, but no. Some people like him can't handle constructive conversations. They have to be right. So, Planet, how you doing? I believe the diagnosis, but I don't find it applicable. Is he an expert? No, I don't know about that. I don't think he's ever worked in the FBI. And the way he's Robat, I'm with you. And the way that he's all over YouTube and on the Lab channel, that's weird. Did you see his signature in gold though? It's funny. I don't. That's the question of the day, Pearl. I don't know. All right. Well, that's all of our documents, guys. I'm fucking done. I'm done. Excuse my language. He would look better if he stuck to professionals. I agree. But I'm thinking about having a discussion, like a panel discussion about this case. I think we're going to be seeing some more stuff coming out because here we are. We're turning the corner into June. Jury selection is set to begin July 30th. Kohberger wants to delay things. We're still waiting to see what the outcome is of, the leaks, the information they're providing to the judge on the leaks, and also what the judge is going to decide on giving more time because of the leaks, right? So we got a couple things we're waiting to see. And I've heard some of the experts on the, being interviewed about this saying they think he might get like a 6-week delay. I don't know. We're waiting, Robin. I hope that he doesn't give him any kind of delay because 6 weeks is going to take us what? Right around the time of the murders. I don't like that. Think about it. It's supposed to start August 11th. I was thinking about asking Tanya to do a dual stream or I was going to hit her up about that actually. It's weird. I was actually going to say it in a chat, but I decided not to say it in a chat. If he gets 6 weeks, where does that put us? Let's look at the calendar. I swear to God, it'll put us right around the murder. And I don't think the judge is going to play with that. Let's see. I don't think the judge is going to allow these little things that, in my opinion, Bryan Kohberger likes to do to further taunt the victims. That's my opinion. I think that's what he does. I think that he's very calculated in what he does. And he knows that he thinks about the outcome before it's happened. He's not a act now, think later guy. He's a think now, think. That's all he does is think, in my opinion, anyways. 6 weeks will make a huge difference for the victims and the victim witnesses in this case. So imagine being Bethany or Dylan, and you got to testify, and it's right around the anniversary. You're going to be a fucking mess. So if we look at this calendar and we go, okay, the 11th, let's go 6 weeks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That takes us into September. But we're still going to be in trial for 2 months, which is going to be over November 13th. I think he wanted to have the trial finished by the time this anniversary came around. That's just my opinion. I don't think he wants any of these people to have to be in court on the anniversary or around the anniversary. I think he wanted it completed. Because if you look here, August 11th, we go 2 months, September 11th, October 11th. And he gave plenty of time, if there's extra jury selection and maybe it doesn't start on time, if that takes longer, he gave himself 3 weeks leeway with that August 11th start date. I don't think James Patterson's book's going to have any bearing on his trial. People are not. No, it's not about forgetting the case. You're missing the point, Kathy. I'm saying this is about the defendant. This crime is all about him. It's not about anybody else but him. And this is my opinion. This crime is all about him. Every action, every motion, every time he objects to something or drags something on, it's all about him and the pain he causes. That's my opinion. I think every delay that he's done, he knows he's entitled to it because it's a capital case and he can get away with it. He can get away with it because they have to exercise all of his rights to the maximum because they want to put him in front of a firing squad with a fucking target on his heart. Right? So he knows that Ann Taylor's not going to say, well, she may say, Bryan, I don't see any point in, I don't see any point in filing this. However, if he says, well, I want to, she can't say no. Like, she can't say no. If it's something reasonable. Because guess what? If she does, appeal time comes, right? And Bryan Kohberger says, oh, hey, I didn't get, my counsel didn't do a good job. I asked her to file X, Y, and Z, and she refused. You can't do that. So what you're seeing is Bryan Kohberger's mind still victimizing victims and dragging the process. And that's how I see it. So I don't think that Judge Hippler is going to play. I really don't. I really don't. I think what Judge Hippler is going to do, I think so too, Kathy. Planned it for years. Absolutely. I'm right with you. I think Judge Hippler may be like, okay, I'm going to look at all of this stuff they've brought in on the leaks. I'm going to take all that into consideration, deal with that, and then I will deny the extension based on my findings of the leaks. Exactly, Sluice. We don't want that. So Ann Taylor is in like a catch-22. I know we're all hard on Ann Taylor, but she's just doing her job. She's just doing her job. I mean, to think that she's in love with this guy is ridiculous, right? I mean, we joke around. Ann Kohberger, come on. She knows. She's seen the evidence. Everyone's just going through the motions. And I think Judge Hippler is going to be a great judge too, Faraday. I bet he's ready for everything that could be thrown at him. Yeah. He has nothing but time to sit there and think about all this stuff. That's all he's done, in my opinion. But anyways, yeah, she knows. She's seen it all. She's seen all of it. She's trying to get the DP taken away. Well, maybe he wants that. Because can you imagine this guy going free? Oh my God. If he's guilty, can you imagine? Can you imagine this? If he did it? No, I'm all for Ann Taylor doing her job. Jeremy, I agree. And quite frankly, I don't care if this guy sits in prison for the rest of his life or if he goes in front of a firing squad. Like, I don't get off on seeing people die. If the jury decides he deserves death, then so be it. I'm not going to sit here and go, kill Bryan Kohberger. I can't do that. Let the jury decide what his punishment will be. Because I really don't give a damn. As long as he doesn't get away with murder, which I think is what he wanted to do. I think that his whole goal was, if you were going to kill somebody, how would you get away with it? Keep in mind, we don't know all the details yet, right? We have to trust in our juries. We have to. It's all we've got. Do you think there's a way it gets thrown out? Nope. Not at all. I don't think there's a chance that it gets thrown out. Not because of a silly Dateline show. I don't think so. This is BK's stage and he's the producer and director. Right now, until that sentencing phase, he's going to lose his control. However, there'll still be people like Catherine Ramsland who want to meet with him and get his story and analyze him. And there'll be girls that write to him, you know. I mean, it's the same with any other mass murder, serial killer. They're intriguing to people. Dateline. Hey, Evelyn. Dateline did a lot on the Daybell case. Yeah, they did. They interviewed witnesses. I mean, look at East Idaho News. He interviewed people. He interviewed, that might not have been till after the trial, though, when he interviewed those people. I don't want it thrown out. I think a lot of messed up shit went down, including LE. I don't know. They brought in the Idaho State Police right away. If you think Moscow police are corrupt, I mean, I'm with you on that. I don't necessarily think you're wrong. However, the fact that they brought in the Idaho State Police from minute one, I can't get down with corruption. That would mean that the entire Idaho State Police, investigators, forensics, I mean, all of them, they'd have to be in on this plan. And the FBI and the Moscow police and the fucking Latah County Sheriff. I mean, all these people would have to want to frame Bryan Kohberger. It has nothing to do with pain. You don't realize they brought in the ISP. They brought in the ISP. And then we had also a whole nother investigation being done by the FBI. They were happening in sequence, 2 separate investigations. I feel like Moscow is sloppy. I feel like Moscow's press conferences sucked. I feel like the way that Latah County handled sealing all of the case is why it's all fudged up. Look at Delphi. The worst thing they did was seal everything. Sealed everything. Chris says he's not a rookie. He was an MP in the military. Yeah, he's not a rookie. However, putting him on this case is crazy. No, I get what you're saying, Vivian, and I hope that the trial can, give us the answers that we all need. The answers we want, rather. Not need, because we don't really need anything. This is not our lives. You know what I'm saying, right? Like, I think that once we get the whole story in a trial setting, hey, Maize and Blue, that it may make more sense, or it will make more sense. Not totally this evening. I don't know yet. Probably like 7 after the traffic. I'm sorry. Hold on one second. I think after the traffic has died down. He was new officer rookie. I do think it's odd that they put him in lead of this case, but he also wasn't the only one investigating. So that would put a whole lot of people, Vivian, in a conspiracy to frame Bryan. I just don't think there'd be that concerted of an effort for what? Because somebody wanted to kill Maddie, Kaylee, Ethan, and Xana. So all these agencies and all these guys are all covering it up. You can't say there was drugs involved. There's no evidence of drugs. These kids were drinking freaking alcohol, maybe smoking some pot. I don't even think they look like the type that would smoke pot, to be honest with you. They're way too active. I don't see those girls as potheads. They brought in the other agents. Yes, I think they covered their bases, and I think we're going to see that. But I love discussing it. You know, I'm not against you, Vivian. I don't think you're a pro burger, but I don't like the made up stuff either. Oh, you haven't watched it yet, Heavenly? Cheryl, I don't think she's slimy. I think she's just doing her job. I don't know how we would ever get a toxicology. I know. I want justice for them as well, but supposedly a girl. I mean, how do we know? It's sealed. We don't know. God, you guys really don't like her. Can I kick it? Yes, you can. Thank you for joining Maize and Blue. Thank you for becoming a friend of Jay is for Justice. I like that. You watched it 6 times. Did you? Oh, the DoorDash person? Maybe. But they'd have to have evidence. I will say it was weird, Bryan asking if anyone else was arrested. Oh, I think that's just part of his little game. And guess what? It worked. Because people have been saying that ever since he was arrested. Bryan Kohberger said, was there anyone else arrested? It worked. It's simple. Simple tactic. He put the doubt out there immediately. He put the doubt out there, and then he had the audacity to say to the cop, the arresting officer of the don't forget, the Pennsylvania State Police got to be on this too, Vivian. We got a whole nother state. We got the Pennsylvania State Police. We've got all of the Pennsylvania authorities as well. SWAT team, all of them. They all got to be in on it. But let's not forget, when you hear that Bryan Kohberger was driving after being arrested, swabbed. So here's Bryan Kohberger. Imagine this. Your parents were just zip tied. Their house was ransacked. And what does Bryan Kohberger say on the drive to the jail? Maybe we can have coffee after this is all done. So not only did he say, was anyone else arrested? He said, maybe we can have coffee. You know why? Because the son of a bitch thought he was smart enough to kill and get away with it. I believe a different serial killer asked cops to get a coffee too. Could be Bundy. I don't know. It does sound familiar, but it's games. It's games. Thank you so much, Sophia Petrillo. Kicking 10 more friends to the channel. Let's see who we got. Pickle, Jeremy, Can I Kick It? Candy Kaboom, Poco, 911, Fafo, True Crime and Other Stuff, and Cheryl and Rain and DD. Welcome. Thank you. Thank you so much, Sophia. I think the evil one who skinned the dog killed these kids. I think so too, Kentucky Chris. Ed Gaines said that? All right, let me Google it. What serial killer wanted to get coffee? I'm not getting anything. I'm not getting. Oh, Ed Kemper. Oh, okay. He socialized. Ed Kemper. Okay, here we go. This is interesting. I didn't know this. Hold on. See, I think he's mixed a bunch of serial killers into one crime. Like different, I don't know what to call it, like different markings, or I don't really know how to describe it. Different markings of different serial killers left behind. Yeah, so it says serial killer Ed Kemper befriended the very police officers investigating his murders and would socialize with them at a bar called the Jury Room. Weird. Hallmarks. That's it. Thank you. They called him Big Ed and never suspected him. When he initially confessed, they thought he was pulling a prank. I did not know that. Wow. That's crazy. He actually fucking killed and then went to the bar and hung out with the cops. Wow, that's some creepy shit. Watch Mindhunter. Have you never heard the call he made to the front desk when he turned himself in? I've never dove into Ed Kemper. He's one I've never dove into. He had a body in the back of his truck. He told LE that he didn't want to do it anymore. Oh, wow. I didn't know that. No, I've never dug into him. It's creepy as hell. That was in 73? What's Mindhunter? Is it a movie? What is it? What I wanted to show you was, what was that? What was the guy that cried? The crying killer 911. What was that guy called? The weepy voiced. We talked about this and I never played it. Do you remember we were talking about the weepy voiced killer and how creepy his freaking voice is? Listen, this is his voice. Trigger warning, he's scary.
Don't talk. Don't talk, just listen. I'm sorry what I did to Compton. I couldn't help it. Don't know why I had to stab her. I am so upset about it. I keep getting drunk every night. I can't believe it. It's like a big dream. I can't think of being locked up. If I get locked up, I'll kill myself. I'd rather kill myself than get locked up. I'll try not to kill anybody else.
Fire emergency.
Please don't talk, just listen. I'm sorry I killed that girl. I stabbed her 40 times. Kimberly Compton was the first one over Chief. Oh, I don't know what's the matter with me. I'm sick. I'm going to kill myself, I think.
Where are you?
I'm just going to... If somebody dies with a red kid on, it's me. I killed both of you. I'm sorry. I'll never make it to heaven. Oh, you find me? I just stabbed somebody with an ice pick. I can't stop myself. I keep killing somebody. Yes, please. This is an emergency. Please send a squad to Pierce Butler Road, Molenberg Manufacturing Company, machine shop. Please, there's an ambulance too. There's a girl hurt there.
Can you tell me what happened to her?
Just hurry. She's laying on the ground in the back by the railroad tracks by the edge here. Hurry.
What's the address?
I don't know.
Who are you?
That's scary. This is him right here. This is what he looks like.
Don't talk, just listen.
The weepy voice killer. Ooh. That's always given me the creeps. Here, let's see what he did. The weepy voiced. So it's Paul Michael Stefani. Forgot his name. Okay, weepy voice killer. He was an American serial killer known as the weepy voice killer due to a series of phone calls, which we just listened to. He was the second of 10 children born into Catholic family. Here we go. Trauma. His mother remarried when he was 3, and his stepfather was known to beat his stepchildren and sometimes throw them down the stairs. He was fired from a janitor position at Malmberg Manufacturing Company, and that's where his first victim was found. Oh my God. St. Paul, Minnesota. Stephanie beat Karen Potak in St. Paul, Minnesota. Stephanie called the police at 3 a.m. to report the attack. His next victim was Kimberly Compton, 18, from Pepin, Wisconsin. And then Kathleen Greening. And then Barbara Simmons, a 40-year-old nurse. The two met at the Hexagon bar after he asked her for a cigarette. And then she asked him for a ride home. She was found stabbed the next day. So he picked up a 19-year-old sex worker named Denise Williams on August 21st, 82, Minneapolis. He stabbed her 15 times with a screwdriver. During the attack, she was able to hit him on the head with a glass bottle, causing cuts to his head and face. She was able to flee the scene. Wow. He confessed in 97 when he was diagnosed with skin cancer. Look at this. During his trial, his ex-wife, sister, and a woman who lived with him testified that they believed the hysterical caller revealing the attacks was Stefani. What if Bryan Kohberger was calling on the girls for the noise things? What if it was him and they have his voice calling 911 or calling dispatch? I agree, Von Cruel. Sometimes it's karma, right? So his ex-wife and sister and a woman who lived with him identified his voice. So he was convicted and sentenced to 58 years. He died in prison in 1998 from skin cancer. So he's dead. Weepy voiced. Weepy voice is dead. Paul Michael Stefani. Jesus. Yeah, see, when he was arrested, look, that girl hit him in the face, so he had bandages and shit on his face. Good for her. Good for her. Top 3 what? I hope he's nice. He's going to give me a ride home. She was probably half joking. Dahmer worked at the chocolate factory in Wisconsin. Hang Lee from St. Paul. God, there's a lot of serial killers. How many? Oh, look at this. One more thing really quick before I let you guys go. FBI serial killer map. They're now like, look at this. This is right here. August 1st of 2024. The FBI focusing on a specific pool of suspects as part of a highway serial killings initiative. Look at these red dots. The heck? So they started this in 2004. And now 20 years later, they're amping it up. The FBI thinks that they are likely responsible for 850 murders, long-haul truckers. There are 25 long-haul truckers already in prison for multiple murders. Look at that. That's scary as fuck. You want this website, Fox 19? This map? Because who knows? Who knows? Any of us could come into contact with any of these people. Let's listen to the video. Look at this map shows more than 500 cases in our Highway Serial Killings Initiative database. The red dots mark where bodies or remains have been found along highways over the past 30 years. Yeah, I'll look into it, Maize and Blue. If you want to email me some stuff, or, some information I can look up. Let's listen to this and see what this says.
Come see why more people are choosing Audi Naples.
Take advantage of Memorial.
Audi Naples. You have a scary story about a trucker? Check email. Won't blow your mind. Okay, thank you, Sarah. All right, let's listen to this.
$1,000 on top of that.
Audi Naples, delivering the car
And the experience.
Right now, we have multiple serial killers operating in the United States, without a doubt.
According to the FBI, those serial killers could be connected to dozens and dozens of unsolved murders.
Investigators are actively working to track them down by focusing in on a specific pool of suspects.
Jessica Schmidt explains what they're doing now to prevent another person from becoming a victim in this story from the Crime Vault.
Oh, yeah. In 2004, after noticing a pattern of murdered women being dumped along interstates, the FBI launched its Highway Serial Killings Initiative. The map you see behind me shows where bodies and remains have been found along highways in 500 cases over the course of 30 years. 20 years later, the FBI's work has led to several arrests and to hundreds of suspects. And today, investigators do believe most of those suspects are long-haul truckers. But they want to make it clear they're focusing in on a very small portion of them, as most truck drivers are innocent, hard workers, like a local man we talked to, Tim Reynolds. Tim Reynolds stepped into the trucking industry 35 years ago. Spending more than 2 decades on the road gave his passion a purpose.
Dad drove truck, grandparents drove truck, mom drives truck. Not only is it a family
it's their bodies
thing, it's a childhood dream.
Now a CDL training manager at Butler Tech, Reynolds is teaching the next generation how to safely steer a semi. While tough at times, it's a profession Reynolds describes as incredibly important.
If the trucking industry was to stop today, you would be completely out of everything in 3 days. Grocery stores would be empty shelves, gas stations without gas. So this is a constant moving, vital part of this whole country.
How do you track these people down?
Although the majority of the more than 3 million truckers in the U.S. are hardworking men and women dedicated to keeping the economy moving like Reynolds, the FBI believes there is a dark side to the business, thanks to a very small group of very bad people.
The number one profession for serial killers is long-haul trucker.
Federal investigators believe a handful of serial killers operating as long-haul truckers are likely responsible for 850 murders spread across multiple states and spanning decades. Former FBI Assistant Director Frank Figluzzi says the good news is many of those cases are now solved.
There are 25 long-haul truckers already in prison for multiple murders. There have been cases in the greater Cincinnati and the larger Ohio area.
John Fottenberry was working as a long-haul trucker when he murdered a Milford man in 1991. He was convicted and executed after investigators discovered he'd gone on a cross-country killing spree. But according to the FBI, there are still around 200 cases considered open and active.
Right now, we have multiple serial killers operating in the United States, without a doubt. The suspect pool for all of those within the trucking community is 450 suspects right now.
Stop it.
Determined to help narrow that down, Figluzzi, now retired, started...
Did you hear that? 450 suspects?
Investigating on his own. He researched, pulled data from the FBI's Highway Serial Killings Initiative, and traveled across the U.S. with the long-haul trucker to experience the lifestyle.
I rode flatbed, which is a different kind of very active physical trucking, with a very gracious driver who tolerated me for over 2,000 miles.
Wow.
His work led him to a key conclusion. These killers are cold, calculated, and clever.
An 18-wheeler is a mobile crime scene. What do I mean by that? These killers are grabbing their victims in one jurisdiction, killing or raping them in a second jurisdiction, and dumping the body in a third jurisdiction.
The victims targeted by the killers are typically vulnerable women struggling with addiction. Many were sex trafficked before their deaths, Figluzzi says, either recruited online or spotted at truck stops and forced to live a life they couldn't escape. It's those details that add a layer of complexity to these cases.
Most of these remains have no ID on them, whether that's the trafficking victim deliberately not carrying ID or whether that's the trucker taking the ID to make it much harder. Sometimes taking the ID as a souvenir.
Survivors of sexual slavery shared their stories with him to help him better understand what the women being preyed on are going through.
I interviewed one woman who was a preacher's kid. I interviewed another woman who was a brilliant a bookkeeper who had a year of college. Commonalities, very often it's early childhood trauma in the form of unwanted touching. Very often it's early introduction to drug use in the form of marijuana. And then rapidly the drugs get harder as a series of really bad trauma develops in their family environment.
To protect the ongoing investigations, Figluzzi can't reveal details about the list of current suspects or the patterns they've recently uncovered. He did tell us the FBI is using company logs, gas station receipts, and other records to build timelines. And when they can, they're using forensic genealogical DNA.
Only about a tiny fraction of trucks.
This is going to be the norm, this genealogical DNA or whatever. I think it's going to be a trend.
Who kill, the rest are family people trying to feed their families by giving us our food on our table.
For dedicated, innocent drivers like Reynolds, the FBI's data isn't just disturbing, it's disappointing.
It gives us, all drivers, a bad image with the general public. So it makes us all look bad. I would love to see them in and spend time behind bars, pay for your crimes, and let life move on.
While investigators work to eliminate suspects and identify the serial killers, Reynolds continues to train groups of aspiring truckers, encouraging them to not let anything deter them from focusing.
That's crazy. Just be careful. Good afternoon, Angela. They have GPS on them. Their companies keep a close eye on what they're doing. Oh, Heavenly, if you go into the help desk, someone will help you. Isn't it wild? So many cold cases, Sluice. Have any of the ones that you covered previously, have they been solved? Because you really dug in and got some old, cold cases. Yeah, hitchhiking is kind of out now. Keith Jesperson. Oh, his daughter's out there all. Yeah, he's the one that was the truck driver. Interesting stuff. Did you guys know, off topic here, but before we close this out, did you guys see, and I'm so troubled by this. Did you guys see that the Wells' oldest son is up for adoption and it's online? Put a 1 in chat if you've seen that. We talked about it on my other channel last night. I got offline last night after we talked about it, and I just went through, I looked up the pictures of those kids before they were taken. It still blows my mind, man. He asked PJ if they could adopt him. Stop. Dolly asked PJ if they could adopt him. Okay. Well, he's to the age now and to the point where he's older and they get desperate. But he looks like, he looks like such a handsome young man. He sounds like a smart kid. He wants to be a biologist. There's a little video attached, and he says that he would love to have a dog or a fish. But man, it was just crazy. I can share the link with you guys. I don't really want to show it because I just don't. But I know that you guys all, followed that case extensively with Summer Wells. And I'm not going to lie and act like this isn't out there for everybody to see. So I am going to share this link with my audience. I'm not going to post it on my socials, but I will keep you guys up to speed on what's going on. It's just wild to me. Asked if he looked healthy. Yes, he does. Yeah, of course. He looks, we've all seen him. I'm not going to play his little video, but yeah. He looks healthy. He looks good. He's a smart kid. It's sad. I don't think the boys have any idea what happened. If they did, it would have been solved. Unfortunately, I think that the boys were innocently playing and never knew what happened. He's very handsome. But if you watch that video, there's a video of what looks to be his brothers and him. They're blurred out. But if you go back and look at their old pictures, you can tell it's probably his brothers. So, yeah, I'm hoping that he gets a nice family to take him in and kind of help him transition into adulthood. That's what he needs. He needs a good family to be able to lead him and guide him, Anyways, on that note, thank you for joining me today. I may or may not see you guys until Monday, and I'm going to start doing true crime updates during the week. I haven't decided what day yet, but just kind of going over these things and, weekly updates of what's going on to keep up to speed without digging deep. Yeah, that's Summerwell's brother. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for joining. And if you haven't hit the like button, please hit that like button on your way out. Subscribe for more and click all notifications so you don't miss a live stream. Thank you to the moderators for being here at each and every stream. I appreciate you. And of course, the friends of the channel. Thank you for being my friend. Thank you for being a friend. All right, you guys, if you have anything you would like to email me, mods will throw the email in the chat. Everybody stay safe out there. Let's run our credits and thank all of you wonderful people. Bye, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this live stream or video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on my latest content. Want to take it a step further? Bring it all in. And join our community clickers by becoming a Patreon or a YouTube member. You'll get exclusive access to our Discord server, special channel perks, and much more. Until then, I'll see you in the next one.
Click. It's real easy, man.